Every year, thousands of animal lives quietly come to an end on those cold, unforgiving tracks. These collisions don't just cause heavy property damage, they also push people to the fragile line between life and death, where a single careless moment can cost a life. Just one moment of inattention, one wrong decision, is enough to create irreversible consequences. Livestock should never be allowed to wander near railway lines. Safety fences and strict management are the only line of defense between life and death. A westbound local train was climbing uphill at high speed and nearly collided with a flock of ducks that suddenly crossed the tracks, creating a heart-stopping and intensely tense moment. The cautious engineer slowed down in time, keeping the ducklings safe and allowing their mother to return and reunite with them. A train thundered past just inches away, nearly taking the life of a chicken crossing the tracks. In that brief moment, a collision became unavoidable. The line between life and death came down to a split second as 7 cows miraculously crossed the tracks just ahead of a slowing train in Tezpur, Assam. This heart-stopping moment left viewers shaken and served as a powerful warning about the dangers along railway lines. Trains are among the most dangerous machines ever created by humans. They move at terrifying speeds, carrying the immense mass of dozens of rail cars. Once in motion, there is almost no way to stop them. The force of impact doesn't just destroy bodies, it also leaves lasting trauma for those who witness it. A pig suddenly rushed straight into the path of a high-speed train, was violently thrown off the tracks, and suffered severe injuries. In the darkness of night, a large pig suddenly appeared on the tracks and was struck head-on by a high-speed train, creating a tense and haunting moment. The incident highlights the extreme danger railways pose to both animals and humans and serves as a powerful warning about the need for proper animal management and control to prevent them from entering active rail areas. After tragedies like these, do farmers truly wake up? Or will history continue to repeat itself again and again because of a single moment of negligence? This small dog was suddenly pulled beneath the train, its entire body trembling as if there were no escape. That snake likely never understood the power of the oncoming train, moving forward blindly, driven by instinct alone. And then, as its head touched the cold steel wheel, the cost of a single mistake became far too great. One reckless step, one impulsive decision is enough to leave a wound that never truly heals. There was once a snake trapped beneath the tracks, its fate seemingly already sealed. It's time for stronger, stricter oversight. Railway authorities and stations need more than just fences. They must also focus on education and reminders. Never allow pets or livestock to wander near the tracks. Each year, railway tracks become the line between life and death for thousands of animal species. Each collision is a warning, not just for nature, but for the humans living alongside it. Today, we will look back at those tragic encounters and why just a moment of distraction can lead to the worst consequences. Never let livestock roam near the tracks. Build sturdy enclosures and implement strict management measures. A horse tried to cross the tracks, ignoring the oncoming train's horn. In the blink of an eye, the collision became unavoidable. The train is one of the deadliest machines on Earth, moving at terrifying speeds and carrying the massive weight of dozens of cars. Once in motion, stopping a train is almost impossible. The force of impact is utterly destructive. Just one careless second can turn into an irreversible tragedy. A wild horse wandered onto the tracks and realized the train was coming too late. But fortunately, the tragedy did not claim its life. In the violent collision between nature and cold steel, train strikes involving kangaroos have paralyzed the main railway network in Victoria, with cancellation rates doubling to 5% since 2016. In just 1 year, 400 Bendigo trains and 300 Seymour trains were cancelled. The dog was pulled under the train, trembling and motionless. Incredibly, it was that very stillness and calm that created a chance for survival. What do you think? Could it escape? A dog was unfortunately struck by the train, but miraculously survived. It was quickly rescued by locals and guided to the roadside. But luck doesn't always smile. A dog ran on the tracks and didn't make it off in time, and in the end, the outcome seemed already sealed. Every year, thousands of creatures lose their lives on railway tracks, quietly yet tragically. These collisions not only destroy property, but also put human lives at risk. Just a single moment of distraction can lead to devastating and irreversible consequences. Never let livestock roam freely near the tracks. Loose pens, careless management, that's the recipe for tragedy. Monkeys stand waiting at a section of the tracks, creating a scene that is both humorous and rare. The video captures the moment wild animals watch the train pass by without fear, leaving viewers both surprised and delighted. A live railway accident occurred when the Garibaldi Express collided with a monkey on the tracks. Because the train was moving at high speed, the driver couldn't react in time, resulting in a strong impact. A small dog narrowly avoided being hit by a high-speed train while crossing the tracks. Thanks to its quick reaction and timely dash, the dog escaped unscathed. There are moments when a dog gets sucked under the train, its whole body trembling on the line between life and death. If it stays calm, lies still, and waits for the right moment, survival is still possible. Do you believe this miracle could happen again? A railway accident occurred when a donkey cart collided with a train at a level crossing. Because the cart crossed the tracks without careful observation and the train was moving at high speed, the collision happened, causing damage to the cart, but fortunately no serious injury to the donkey. Protecting animal safety also means protecting farmers' livelihoods and the bond of care they share with their animals. After tragedies like these, do farmers truly wake up? Or will history keep repeating itself again and again because of a single moment of negligence? A herd of horses suddenly rushed onto the tracks, creating an extremely dangerous situation right in front of the moving train. What about you? What can we do to reduce these heartbreaking accidents? Loss and destruction ultimately all stem from human carelessness. And the most frightening thing isn't the unstoppable power of the train, but our own indifference. A stray dog wandered along the tracks and realized the train was coming far too late. These situations expose an undeniable truth. Livestock management responsibilities are still not being enforced strictly enough. Here's the truth: animals are not to blame. They're just trying to survive in their own world. We, the people behind the wheel, are the ones who must take responsibility. Slow down. Stay alert. Always be ready for the unexpected, because sometimes the simplest action is the one that saves a life. This cow completely ignores the piercing warning bell of the oncoming train. It seems far too late to fix the cattle herder's mistake. Just 1 second of delay, and fragile lives stand helpless before a high-speed train. Will this poor dog be lucky enough to survive? Too fast, too dangerous. There's no time to brake, no time to swerve, and the outcome is often brutally devastating. Letting livestock roam freely near railway tracks may seem harmless, but in reality, it is a hidden and serious danger. It not only threatens their lives, but can also lead to disaster for trains hurtling forward at deadly speeds. These situations expose an undeniable truth. Livestock management responsibilities are still not being enforced strictly enough. People are strongly advised not to graze animals near railway tracks. Stray cow wandered onto the tracks. Fortunately, in this case, the train operator was able to slow down in time and sound the horn, helping the cow move out of the danger zone. A CSX train narrowly avoided a collision with a deer that suddenly appeared on the tracks. The situation left witnesses holding their breath and raised concerns about railway safety as well as the risks faced by wildlife. A herd of deer suddenly ran onto the tracks and was struck by a train traveling at high speed. A herd of deer suddenly appeared beside the tracks, just as the train came speeding toward them, creating a heart-stopping moment for those watching. Fortunately, a serious collision did not occur, but the incident once again highlights the ongoing safety risks that wildlife poses to railway operations. A cow runs along the tracks in full view of bystanders, yet no one steps in to help. This is the daily reality for people in India, where freely grazing livestock wandering through train stations and along the tracks disrupts public order and obstructs railway traffic. Just a single second of lost focus is enough to change everything. No time to brake, no time to steer away, and the outcome is often brutally unforgiving. A stray cow, panicked and overwhelmed with fear, struggled desperately to escape the tracks, but the train was already too close. Tragically, it was too late. While a herder was grazing cattle beside the tracks, one cow failed to move out of the danger zone as the train passed by at extremely high speed. Smaller animals can sometimes survive if they fit perfectly beneath the train, depending on its structure. But for medium or large animals like donkeys, the chances of survival are almost non-existent. A herd of cattle suddenly panicked and ran into the train station area, disrupting railway operations and causing delays to multiple trains. Authorities quickly intervened to stabilize the situation and ensure passenger safety. After tragedies like these, do farmers truly wake up? Or will history keep repeating itself because of a single moment of carelessness? The responsibility lies entirely with humans, from livestock owners and authorities to everyone on the road. Building sturdy fences, strictly managing livestock, raising community awareness, and staying alert while driving are essential measures to prevent similar tragedies. A moving train that couldn't stop passed just centimeters from the cow, and although it escaped by a hair's breadth, the fear and the painful injuries would stay with it forever. In the end, vigilance isn't a choice, it's a responsibility. The train couldn't stop, and there was no way out for the poor cow. Just a little more caution, just one moment of greater awareness could save a life. Not only an animal's, but possibly a black bear suddenly appeared as the high-rail vehicle moved along the railway. This rare moment in the wild sparked both curiosity and fear among the passengers and train driver. For larger animals, like donkeys or cows, hope is nearly non-existent. The gap beneath the train is too narrow, and the outcome is usually only one. A frenzied moose stood right on the tracks, seemingly challenging the oncoming train. It didn't run, but faced it head-on. The horses suddenly wandered onto the track, standing in the middle of the dangerous railway line. What seemed like a peaceful moment was actually full of risk. Their bodies cannot pass through the narrow gaps beneath train cars, and the outcome is almost always death. Farmers must closely manage their livestock and animals and never allow them to roam freely in areas with railway tracks. Protecting animal safety is also protecting the farmers' property and the care they dedicate to them. What about you? How can we reduce these heartbreaking accidents? Share your thoughts in the comments. A troop of monkeys calmly stood and waited for the train to pass, creating a scene that was both surprising and fascinating, leaving passengers delighted and unable to look away. The Garibrath Express train suddenly struck a monkey that appeared on the tracks. The impact terrified the entire troop, sending them fleeing in all directions. What do you think? Did it manage to escape safely? Incredibly, at high speed and with stopping seemingly impossible for the moving train, a duck still survived after being struck by a freight train traveling at around 40 miles per hour, leaving viewers in absolute disbelief. A heart-stopping moment as a goat suddenly appeared on the tracks and was struck by a train on the section between the twin WAG 7 Vijayawada locomotives and a Hyderabad local train. A poor little goat suddenly appeared on the tracks and was struck by the high-speed Tesgam train near the Lahore-Kant area. Two poor goats suddenly appeared on the tracks and were struck by a high-speed train near Sangla Hill on the day of Eid. The incident happened in the blink of an eye, leaving passers-by in shock. This terrifying scenario reveals just how devastating railway accidents can be, and the unpredictable consequences when animals appear on the tracks in large numbers. Most animals don't understand danger. When startled by a train horn, their instinct is often to panic and run along the tracks, a path that never leads to safety. In the end, it often feels like the outcome was already decided. There was once a cow trapped under a train, its fate seemingly sealed. But as the wheels rolled over, leaving a narrow gap, it sprang up and ran, as if granted a second chance at life. Two bears suddenly ran onto the road and were hit by a vehicle, leaving the driver and onlookers in shock. This is not a distant issue. From Texas to California, these heart-stopping moments happen every day. Accidents can be avoided, but the fear never fades. The truth: animals are innocent. They are just trying to survive. Humans must take responsibility. Slow down, stay alert, be prepared for any unexpected situation, because sometimes the smallest action can save a life.